Oats, superfood or blood sugar bomb? Spend 5 minutes online and you'll find arguments for both. Probably end up more confused than when you started. So what's the truth? I'm Dan Martin, a chef and nutritionist, and I've spent years helping people figure out what actually works for breakfast, not just what sounds healthy. In this video, we're going to cut through the oatmeal confusion, and we'll do this by breaking down 5 of the biggest myths about oats and see whether they actually hold up. And then I'll show you how to make one oat bowl that flips a few of those myths on its head. It's savory, unexpected, and packed with nutrition. So stick around, the final recipe might just change how you think about oats altogether. Let's get into it. Myth number 1, oats are only for sweet breakfast. Now this might be one of the most limiting ideas out there. We're used to these kind of like cinnamon, apple, maple situations, but oats are neutral. They don't need to be sweet. And around the world, savory grain porridges are the norm. You've got congee in China, upma in southern India. So why not give oats that same respect? Also, breaking out of the sweet-only routine opens up a world of flavor and function, as it makes it easier to build in ingredients that are higher in protein, richer and healthier fats, and better balanced with blood sugar and energy. It also gives your palate a break from consistent sweetness, which can help reset cravings over time. Now we'll come back to this, it's the foundation of our final bowl. Myth number 2, oats spike your blood sugar. Now this one isn't totally wrong, but it's not the whole picture either. If you're eating instant oats on their own, maybe with syrup or dried fruit, then yeah, you might get a sharper spike and crash. But not all oats are created equal. Steel cut oats are the least processed and the slowest to digest. You have rolled oats, which kind of fall in the middle, whereas instant oats are the most processed, digest the quickest, and raise blood sugar the fastest. The good news, all oats contain beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that forms a gel in your gut and slows glucose absorption. It also helps lower LDL cholesterol, with several randomized control trials showing a 5 to 10% reduction over time. Of course, your response depends on things like sleep, stress, movement, and genetics. They all kind of play a role. So if oats don't work for you, even when paired with protein, fiber, and fat, that's cool. Just head over to my breakfast playlist. There are some other delicious options that might suit you better. Myth number 3, oats aren't filling because they don't have enough protein. Not completely wrong. Plain oats only have about 5 grams of protein per serving, so on their own, they might not keep you satisfied for long. But here's what's often missed. They still bring steady energy from complex carbs, plenty of fiber, and protein that's higher quality than most people expect, making them an ideal base to build a more filling breakfast around. When you go savory, like we explored in myth number 1, it becomes easier to add protein-rich ingredients that round out the meal. The final recipe in this video clocks in just under 30 grams of protein using simple whole foods. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how to make it. Myth number 4, you have to buy organic oats. This concern is mostly about glyphosate, a herbicide sometimes used in growing conventional oats, and trace amounts have been found in oat-based products like cereals and snack bars. But in nearly all cases, those levels are well below the safety limits set by major health authorities like the US Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA. And more recent testing suggests those levels have continued to decline. It's also worth noting that even a few organic products have shown small traces, likely from windrift or shared processing equipment, but these tend to be much lower than in conventional oats, so what's the takeaway? Oats are something that you eat every day and you want to limit your exposure where you can, switching to organic might be worth it. But if it's not realistic budget-wise, no stress. You're still getting a smart, fiber-rich food with a strong track record of health benefits. Just rotate your grains now and then, wash the produce thoroughly, and focus on variety across your diet. And if oats still don't sit right for you, or your doctor has advised avoiding glyphosate, that's totally valid. I'll be sharing more nourishing breakfast ideas in future videos. Myth number 5, oats block mineral absorption because of anti-nutrients. Yes, oats contain phytic acid, a naturally occurring compound found in grains, nuts, and legumes. It can bind to minerals like iron, zinc, magnesium, and calcium and reduce how much your body absorbs from that particular meal. But in the context of a real-world, balanced diet, this usually isn't a big deal. Also, cooking oats greatly reduces phytic acid. Remember, most of us get minerals from a variety of foods across the day, not just one meal. However, if you have higher iron needs, for example, during pregnancy or advised by your doctor, it can help to enjoy your most iron-rich meals at different times from high phytic foods like oats. But for most people, occasional phytic acid is nothing to worry about, especially when you weigh it against the many proven benefits of oats. The takeaway, we need to stop zooming in on single nutrients and start looking at the bigger picture. For most people, eating oats regularly has a clear net benefit. Evidence supports that. It's a bit like cutting out fruit just because it contains sugar while ignoring all the fiber, vitamins and antioxidants that come with it. And that brings us to the good part, because it's one thing to talk about the theory, but another to put it on a plate. So I'm going to show you a bowl that flips those myths on their head. Alright, today we're making my take on salmon ochazuke, a simple Japanese comfort dish where hot tea or broth is poured over white rice and salmon. However, in this case, I've given it a makeover by using oats and a couple unconventional toppings for flavour and function. Let's get cooking. Start by placing a strip of kombu in about 150 milliliters of water. Bring it gently toward a simmer. That'll take 3 to 4 minutes. Keep an eye on it. If it boils, the broth can go a little bitter. But honestly, don't stress. If it does, you'll nail it next time. Now while that's heating, toast 60 grams of rolled oats in a dry pan for a minute or two until they're golden and nutty. This step keeps them from turning into soupy porridge. You get texture and flavour instead. Then add just over 100 milliliters of water to the pan. That's just less than double the weight of oats, plus 30 grams of frozen spinach. Cover it and let it simmer for 3 minutes until the oats are tender and the spinach has relaxed into the mix. Back to the broth. Just before the kombu boils, lift it out for a clean, umami-rich base. Turn off the heat, add a pinch of green tea leaves and cover. Let it steep while the oats finish cooking. Next, let's assemble our bowl. First, strain the dashi and green tea into something easy to pour. Spoon your oats and spinach into a serving bowl, top with 80 grams of cooked flaked salmon, ideally sustainably sourced, that adds protein and those long-chain omega-3s, EPA and DHA, that your brain loves. Not a salmon fan? Try mackerel, sardines, tofu, tempeh or even eggs. They all work beautifully. Now here's where you make it your own, but I'm keeping it mostly traditional for ochazuke. A sprinkle of toasted sesame seeds for healthy fats and crunch, a little shredded nori for deep umami, fresh mitsuba, a Japanese herb similar to parsley. Coriander works too if you like the taste of soap. Just joking, I actually love coriander. And now something less conventional. Pumpkin seeds. They're rich in magnesium, a mineral many of us fall short on. Not all of it gets absorbed, but plenty does, especially as the oats are cooked. And for me, it's about the mindset, adding more good stuff into a dish rather than taking things away. That's why you'll often see me sprinkling on these little green magnesium bombs. Now, gently pour your hot broth around the sides of the bowl so the toppings stay on top. The toasted oats soak up the savoury broth but keep their bite. It's deeply comforting and surprisingly light. And one more twist, right before the final bites, I add a spoonful of kimchi. Not traditional, but it brings heat, tang, gut-friendly probiotics, and honestly, I think I might be addicted. Traditionally, you'd eat this with chopsticks, but I'll be real, I use a spoon. Way easier, no judgment. Sorry mum. Now, let's recap by seeing how this dish takes down the big oat myths. 1. Oats don't have to be sweet, and this savoury version is testament to that, as it's packed with flavour and nutritionally balanced. 2. Oats also don't have to spike blood sugar. Protein and fat from the salmon and seeds, and fibre from the spinach and oats themselves slow the absorption. 3. Not enough protein? Well, this bowl gives you close to 30 grams already. Add a glass of soy milk or eggs on the side, and you're closer to 40. 4. Organic only? Alright, truth is I used organic here, but conventional oats are still a solid choice. Save organic for when you're eating oats daily if it fits your budget. And finally, phytic acid. Cooking knocks most of it out, and in real life, balance across your whole diet matters more than one nutrient in one meal. So, instead of calling oats a superfood or a blood sugar bomb, think of them as a versatile base. The real power comes from how you build the bowl. Full recipes in the description if you want to try it or save it for later. And if this gave you a new way of looking at oats or breakfast in general, hit like and drop me a comment with your twist on the recipe. And if you want more flavour-first, evidence-backed breakfast, check out the breakfast playlist. There's already a couple of videos in there, but I plan to add a lot more. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.